Alright, welcome back guys. Homemade bread. I'm calling it homemade Dutch oven bread because I used a Dutch oven. But I get asked for this recipe a lot. So it's really pretty simple, so I thought I'd throw out a video there for you. That was 1 cup of water. I'm using cold water, and I use a water filtration system. It takes out the chloride, fluorine, pesticides, and all that crap that they try to feed you. And that was 1 teaspoon of yeast and a half a teaspoon of white sugar. If I had had honey, I would have used honey. I didn't have honey. I had white sugar. I used white sugar. Shoot me. And I had gloves in the house. I'm wearing gloves. And that's what I'm going to mix it with. To me, that's better. Obviously, you could use a utensil. I chose not to. But I get a good idea of how mixed it is that way. I'm going to cover it up. Going to let it sit there for an hour. At least an hour. And after an hour, it looks like this. Yummy. Isn't that disgusting? Pretty much that's disgusting at that point. But I'm putting it in my mixing bowl because I'm going to mix this up, and I'm not going to do it by hand. Not doing it? No. Get every little bit in there the best I can anyway. Excuse me. I'm going to put in a half a teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. If you don't have extra virgin olive oil, the other option you have is to not make my bread. Don't do that. And I'm going to put in 2 cups of flour. And this is all-purpose, unbleached flour. I'm using a cheaper brand here. I usually like King Arthur, but there was a recall and they don't have any in the store. And if they recalled it for any sort of valid reason whatsoever, I'm glad they didn't have any. Alright, I have it in the mixer. You start the mixer very slowly. They say that, and here's why. If you start it really fast, you make a cloud of flour in your kitchen, or you're going to get a face full of flour, depending on how closely you watch your mixer. But I'm going to let it mix till it all gets together here, and you may have to adjust a little bit of water, a little bit of flour, I don't know, until it comes together the way you want it to. Excuse me, this is about 10 minutes, and that's what I'm looking for. I know it doesn't look right, but that's what I'm looking for. Now, I didn't put any water on my gloves when I pulled it out. Put some water on your gloves, and you won't have that sticking problem that I had when I took it out of the bowl. You see it's not sticking now. And I'm making it into a nice, smooth, tight, round little ball. Tuck it in and get it ready for some, don't ask me why I do that, because this is a family channel, so don't ask me why I test it like that, but I do. This is spray extra virgin olive oil. If you don't have the spray, just throw some oil on there, rub it down with the glove. I'm going to cover it with cellophane, and the reason you cover it with cellophane is so it doesn't stick to the towel. I'm going to put a towel over it, tuck it in nice, and there you go. We're going to let that sit there for about an hour to an hour and a half. I'm preheating the oven at 500 degrees. If your oven goes to 550, go to 550. And after it's preheated, I have an empty Dutch oven there. And I'm going to stick the empty Dutch oven, see, I'm going to prove to you it's empty, into the oven and with a lid. And that's going to go in there for about an hour. So, you know, your dough's rising. You had to wait for the oven to heat up. You put the Dutch oven in there. You let that heat up for about an hour. Everything is ready to go at this point. You know, we all, in a perfect world, everything landed at the same time. This thing is screaming hot. Be really careful. And I put coarse cornmeal on the bottom of the pan. You don't have to. It's not going to stick to the pan anyway. I like it. I like I like it. And I was going to use my pizza scraper, but I didn't need it because it didn't stick. And very carefully put it into the pan, and I'm using a razor blade to make my X. This is where, if you want to get fancy, you put your initial, you know, you can draw a picture. I don't care. That makes it your signature bread. And I'm just sprinkling a little flour on top of it. Put the cover back on, and off to the oven we go. Now we're going to put this in there. I'm going to set the timer for about 35 minutes. If you don't like it really well done, go 30 minutes. You can even go 25. I go 35 minutes. At the end of 35 minutes, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to take the cover off. Leave the bread in there. Take the cover off. And I'm going to let it cook about another 5 minutes. Like I said, I like my bread dark and strong, is what I always say, you know, crusty bread. And that's it, man. That bread's done. Look at that. To me, that's perfect. Like I said, some people like them lighter. I don't. I like it like this. So after several attempts at trying to figure out a way to get this bread out of there so it looked more professional than dumping it into my hands, I dumped it into my hands. And there's my loaf of bread. And see why I made the X? You see how much it exploded? But I'm telling you, isn't that gorgeous? Your house is going to smell terrific when you do this. And I like those dark edges on there. That's the way I roll, man. That's how I like it. So when you see a recipe that says, you know, serve with a good crusty bread or, you know, something like that, this is what they're talking about. You can buy this, but this bread right here, this is 6 minutes old. See how fluffy it is on the inside? Oh, that's like a little cloud of bread. And look in that hole right there. You see how strong the crust is? You can see exactly how thick and strong the crust is. And that's got a nice crisp to it, a nice bite to it, al dente-ish. And the inside is so fluffy. And it's got those nice little holes in there to hold your butter or whatever. Gave a piece to the wife, because we have to do the taste test. That's the law. She looks at the camera and goes, mmm. And then I tried a piece. I have a shot of me. And look at that. Isn't that delicious? Look at the smile on my face. That's absolutely delicious. I serve this on the side. You can see it right there with kale soup. It's kale, potatoes, and I'll do another video on that. But that's the bread. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you so much. You rock. Hi, guys. Just want to say a quick thank you for watching the videos. Please subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed them. And please come back for the next one.